Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place.
Good morning, and we are back here on Youth Wednesdays on Tobago Updates. It's a little to 8 o'clock, so I am expecting that everyone is on their way to work so that they'll be on time, right? I bid you a safe travel. I bid you a safe day, a productive day. So today at this point, we are on Youth Wednesdays, and we have a plethora of youth this morning here to talk to us a little bit about the primary plenary debate experience, right? And they're very excited, very comfortable, I should say. So we're going to hear a little bit from them. So before we start, I'd like everybody to introduce themselves and tell me what school you represent.
Hi, I'm Daniel George, and I represent the Laford Anglican Primary School.
I am Sienna Eruption, and I am representing Roxborough Anglican Primary.
I am Alleyne Woods, and I'm representing the Monk St. George Methodist Primary School.
I am Liam Wheeler, representing Tobago International Academy.
I'm Zion George, representing the St. Michael's Anglican Primary School.
I am Weston Paul, representing Hope Anglican Primary School.
And we have, last but not least, not in uniform, but a young man, of course. He was ready and excited to tell us about the debate. You can go ahead.
I am Ajay Alleyne, and I am one of the debating facilitators.
All right, so good morning to you all.
Good morning.
Right, I realized that you all got up very early to be here this morning. I want to commend them. They were on time and they were very much ready for their interview. So before we get into how your experience was in the debate, I'll ask Mr. Allen to just brief us on what the debate was about and what sparked what brought you to planning a debate for primary school children.
Okay, so this is really the brainchild of Presiding Officer Abby Taylor.
Okay.
So we usually have special debates at the house, International Women's Day, Seniors, Tobago Day. So what we were instructed to do was to take a step down. So we wanted to have the young persons involved in the system. So this is basically the culmination of a 3-part series. So firstly, we began with a primary school tour, 41 plus schools across Tobago. Then we had them in training. So they came into the chamber, we did some virtual, we did some in person, so they were able to learn the proceedings of the house, see what a procedural brief looks like, see how questions are asked in the house and so on. And then the culmination was the actual debate that we held last week, Thursday, where the students actually was able to express their views on the matter. It's very entertaining, should I mention. And they just had a show for themselves, and we really enjoyed it, and we want to continue to encourage that type of young involvement in the democratic process.
All right, and I do commend you. This is a very good initiative. They seemed very interested, especially in the topic that you all gave them. So I'm asking you to just kindly tell the audience what the topic was.
Okay, so what we have embarked on now is every public or special sitting that we do, we usually have a survey after. So we'll usually ask members of the public, what do you want to hear debated in the house? So following the International Women's Day debate in March, the topic of SEA was dropped into that pool. So when we decided we were going with primary schools, we saw it fitting to use the SEA. So they debated establishing a committee to examine the effects of the SEA and to also consider adding the Montessori method to the curriculum in Tobago.
Okay, all right. So these children, they were very, very excited. When I tell you very excited to share their views on this topic, right? So firstly, let me ask you all, how was the experience?
It was exciting.
It was exciting. Exceptional.
Chilling.
Thrilling. Oh, I thought you said chilling, sorry.
Educational. It was exciting and joyful.
Joyful.
Interesting and exciting.
Okay, so you see, very exciting. Okay, so tell me, who was for, who was against?
I was for.
I was for.
I was against, but supporting both sides.
All right.
Just 50-50.
50-50. Right.
Kind of like that.
Okay. What were you for?
Against.
Against.
I was against, but for on the same time.
Oh, God.
Did you really have to say
I was for.
All right. To give you all some insight onto what they were for and against, they were either for the removal of the C examination or against it. Of course, they had their own personal views, but they did a very good job on the team that they were representing, and that was for and against. So I'll ask some of the for ones who represented the 4 in the debate, just to share some of your points as to why you think the CA exam should be removed.
It causes so much stress on students' mental and physical health.
Wow. It does?
Yes, it does.
So what would you substitute the CA exam for? What would you put in place of CA exam?
Like, at the end of each academic year, we normally have the end of term test.
Okay.
We use that end of term test, you know, to grade them, and we just use that to send them to high school.
When you really look at it,
Am I the one sparking a debate here this morning? So I'm okay. Seeing that you shared yours against, could you tell me some of your points as to why we should not remove the CA exam?
It's because it costs a lot of money.
It costs a lot of money.
You have to bring in the Montessori method.
Okay, so you are for the CA exam?
Yes, yes.
Okay, right. Mr. Alleyne, after hearing the views of the students, are you all considering some of what they had to say, you know, in terms of introducing the Montessori method or staying to the CA examination?
Okay, so one of the things we wanted basically was just to give them a listening ear and to allow them to understand that their views are critical for the development of the island. And the Chief Secretary spoke to some of their suggestions, which we must applaud him for. And the Secretary of Education took copious notes. I mean, I remember listening to her statement following the actual activity. And she shared a lot of the points that the students brought up that are currently being considered by the division. And hopefully we see it being spread nationally as well, because we have received a lot of phone calls from our colleagues nationally. They listen to these young people, and yes, they were articulate and they were clear, but a lot of the educational stakeholders were keen on what they had was to say, and they're actually considering it a lot now. So we're just hoping that this goes beyond the action and we actually see it being implemented.
All right. So you are right. A lot of people have mentioned before that their views on the examination. They're saying that after so much schooling, I mean, they really focus on the CA exam in standard 4, standard 5, right? After that long process, they have this one exam that they'll have to do before entering high school. So they were saying that it is a bit stressful on the students. So a lot of parents are actually for the removal, I would say. But of course, there are some who would be against. So it was nice to hear from the youths themselves as to why they would be for or against the examination. So, could you all tell me if you would be interested in joining the THA after sitting in?
Yes.
Yes, because it has a lot of attention to it too. And also, you get to sit down in a nice seat and then good AC so you wouldn't get hot or anything.
Anybody else?
I would want to join the THA when I get older, because a person like me, I like to argue and debate with others.
Yeah.
So it would be a good thing for me to join the THA, in my opinion.
Okay, so in light of this, what position would you like to be in the THA? Should you join?
Chief Secretary.
Wow. I mean, you did represent Mr. Augustine, Secretary of Education, so that's Miss Hackett. That is Miss Hackett. Anybody else? You don't know, you just want to go in and argue.
Yeah.
She just wants to go in and argue. Miss B as well?
Yeah, she could be.
All right, so Mr. Alleyne, do you see this debate continuing on annually, or do you think this is just a one-time thing?
No, most certainly. I mean, after round 1, we can't stop here.
Of course not.
So we are actually considering doing it because we weren't able to cover all the schools on the island. So we only were able to pull just the first set. So we are considering going into our next batch, hopefully before the year is out. But we have to look at the legislative calendar for the year, because we have a number of activities and basically we're just going from one event into the next. So in order to ensure quality, we would just have to take some time and reconsider how are we going to roll it out again. But we're asking members of the public as well too. We do have an online survey currently. So once you would have viewed the debate, whether it's live or after, to kindly complete the survey so we can also ensure quality. And we want you to have yours here as well. The People's House is your house. We want you, members of the public from all ages, to have your say and your share on what happens at Assembly Legislature.
All right, so thank you so much, Mr. Alleyne. Thank you to your young people who I hope to see in the THA later on. Please remember my face just in case I need a favor. Thank you very much. So before we go, I'll allow our young people, each one of you all, to shout out somebody who helped you all along the way. Mommy, daddy, sister, brother, and anybody. So I will start with Mr. Delaford over here. Very vocal, you all, very vocal. I'll start with Mr. Delaford over here.
My grandmother.
You like to big up your granny?
Yes, she's the one that didn't help me. She was home looking up on the laptop even though it was giving trouble. She just writing down.
Yes.
And it took a lot of time. And she sleep later than she's supposed to.
Okay. So Granny gave that extra time to helping you prepare for the debate.
Yeah.
So big up Mr. George's granny, right? Big up you. Miss Sienna, your mother. Yes, tell me how did she help you for this debate?
She researched almost everything for me.
Almost everything.
Yes.
So, okay.
I do some of the research, but she do majority.
She did the majority.
Yeah.
Big up Sienna's mommy. She's smiling in the background, by the way, you all. All right, Miss Elaine.
My older sister and mother, they helped me with the research and also helped to structure my speech, especially on the ending part. My mother really put in the extra work to put what was inside of my conclusion.
Oh, that's very nice to hear. This is Liam, right? Liam.
Why is this
Yes.
emotional?
So the only person I would like to tell y'all that helped me a lot was my mom.
Okay.
She was a great guidance. She searched up stuff. She was almost like she was debating as well. But she just gave me the perfect advice and led me through the entire debate.
So big up Liam's mommy.
My mother.
Your mother. What would you like
She
to
helped
say?
me to structure my speech, get the tone, and to talk about schools don't have toilet paper, water problems, and if they're really willing to put in the money. So I want to thank her for all that she has done for me.
All right, so she helped you with a lot of the points for
Yes,
the debate. All right.
My mother and my father.
Okay.
Because my mother helped me, make the speech and to help me fit it into 4 minutes. And my father helped me tirelessly practice that speech until it was showtime.
Okay. All right. So big up all the parents of these children. You all are helping a great nation to be formed. These children are, yes, they're at the primary school level and they're now being introduced into what the THA has to offer. But hopefully later on, they are willing to be a part of the THA. Yes? Yeah. Right. And Mr. Alleyne, anybody you'd like to shout out? I mean, I know you're not in uniform, but anybody you'd like to shout out?
Let me say firstly, much thanks to Presiding Officer Abby Taylor for inviting me to be on the team and to execute this project. Let me also say thanks to Assemblyman Joel Sampson as well for giving me the time off to work with the students, a part of my daily job. And I mean, Tobago on a whole, guys, just get on board, let's support these young people.
Yes.
I mean, continue to reach out to Assembly Legislature because this is not an easy process. It's not a cheap process as well. So if you want to contribute financially, you can reach out. Whether it be donating items, give food, because we can't have the children training and not feeding them.
Yes.
So, contribute whatever way possible, and this is just the start for us.
Yes. And I must say it's a very great start on the shout-out agenda that we are on right now. I'll just like to shout out to Tobago Updates team who streamed this debate for you all, right? So if you all want to see yourselves again, I know you all were very excited when you all were seeing yourselves rolling on the camera. You all can look up Tobago Updates and you'll see the live once again, right? So to our viewers, thank you so much for joining us. To our students who got up very early, even on the bread and butter that you ate this morning. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Alleyne. Always a pleasure, right? Thank you so much, and I hope to see you all later on in the future doing a lot of things for your government and for your island, and of course nationally for your country, right? Thank you once again, viewers. Thank you, students. Thank you, Mr. Alleyne. I'd like to big up someone before we close off our show. I always want to big up things, right? So hold on, let me get that person. He's been away from the tennis arena for a while, but I'd like to big up Mr. Elijah Leslie. He made an impressive return to local competition when the national tennis champions served off Monday night at the National Racket Center. So we want to big you up. He actually won, right, playing in his first match here in around 5 years. The 20-year-old trounced Sebastian Sylvester 6-0, 6-1 to reach the last 32 in the men's singles draw. So, Mr. Leslie, as you have returned, I big you up and I encourage more success in the future. Continue to represent Trinidad and Tobago. All right, so viewers, once again, thank you. And we continue on this morning with Good Morning Tobago. So in light of this, I encourage you to share the live, share the live, share the live.